Now, I've been playing Ark Raiders since the game first released, and honestly I've been having an absolute blast. The combat's felt clean, the gameplay is really smooth, and overall I've not really had many issues with it. I've been able to get into the servers every single time and haven't had any real major concerns. However, with this latest update I have had a few things that feel a little bit off. Some of the firefights I've been in I thought I definitely should have won and did not go that way in the slightest, and also I've had some rubber banding and a few other things that seemed a little bit off that didn't seem to be happening before. So for today's video I thought I'd be going over everything you need to know about the little symbols popping up on your screen, the kind of warning signs you see from time to time, and exactly what they mean and if there's anything you can do to kind of help yourself out. So the first one we're going to be going over looks a little bit like this, like a box that's moving downwards, and that's going to be your packet loss. This icon basically represents the fact that you're losing packets of data, and it says one of the major reasons when you see yourself shooting at enemies, losing out on some of the damage because your bullets may not be hitting them, or in fact some of your actions may not be working as intended. For example, players may not be in the exact position you think they are, or even yourself as well, as may be possible rubber banding and things. Most times there's not too much you can do with this, but they have suggested maybe you should switch to a wired connection if you have this very often, or possibly restart your router and avoid heavy internet if people are using a lot of that within home. The next symbol you may see on your screen looks a little bit like a speedometer, and that's going to be your high latency ping. A little bit similar to the last one, this means some of your movements or your actions are going to be delayed, and overall it just feels like the game's going to be a little bit more sluggish and a little bit more unresponsive. Some of the things they suggest would be going to your region settings and then making sure your matchmaking region is correct. As well as that, close any background apps that are going on and possibly avoid VPNs or proxies. Next up, the one that I'd probably say is the biggest one to know about, the one that you can't really do much about, and that's going to be your server performance. What this means is that there's some kind of an issue within the server itself that's affecting you and probably a whole bunch of other players as well. Unfortunately, there's not many things you can do if there's a server issue, so the only suggestion would be that of trying to connect to a new match, or even maybe coming back on a little bit later if the problem continually persists. Over to our next symbol, and this one's going to be high jitter. And it basically means that the latency is going to be a bit of an issue within the server, and you might see the occasional lag spike in your average ping and such. Movements, hits and animations may feel a little bit on the wobbly side. One of the main things that you could probably do to fix this would be to restart your router and hopefully fix the situation that way. For the next symbol you'll be seeing on screen, this one's going to represent your client performance, and it basically means that your machine might not be rendering frames in properly, affecting some of the general gameplay. Again, inputs may feel a little bit laggy because the client won't be processing them as quickly. A few tips for this would be closing anything that's running in the background if you're playing on PC and such, hopefully to make it not use as many resources, updating your graphics card, which I think is pretty much going to be a standard on all games, and another thing that can help is enabling the detailed option for the in-game performance overlay, which can be found under the advanced section of your video settings. And lastly, if you're seeing this symbol, it looks a little bit like a PC monitor with an exclamation mark on it, then this one's going to refer to your shade stutter. Basically, it's going to mean there's an issue with how things are loading in your game, such as your shaders, so new effects such as materials, textures, and things that haven't been used yet are still being compiled on the system. Now, I'm not going to go into all of the fixes for this one because as you can see, there is a massive list there for you, but ultimately it looks like you can actually clear your cache shaders if you're on PC, and you may want to adjust your graphics settings to see if that helps anything in the process. Overall though, all of these are good to know about. Some of them really mean that you may want to switch the game off, come back a little bit later, especially if you're seeing the one with server issues going on, because there's going to be absolutely nothing you can really do about that, and there's probably something on their end or they're having an issue in some way. Again, hopefully this has helped a few of you guys and girls out. Not the most exciting video, I know that, but there will be a whole bunch more content away from me. Some hints, tips, guides, and some of the best weapons, skills and other things that you should be looking out for. As always, for now, take care. I'll see you on next day.